Hi there, North American Collaboration Summit attendees. I'm Brett Lonsdale from Lightning Tools, and welcome to this awesome event put on by Mark Rackley. So, what I'm going to do here is just do a quick intro to Lightning Tools for those of you who can't be physically present at NACS. But if you are physically present, please go and meet Julio and Sandy, who are going to be on our booth, and I'll be able to talk to you about our products and have some fun. So first thing I just want to mention is there is going to be a prize. So there will be a virtual prize at the end of this video that I'll announce, and there's also going to be a physical prize which you can find out the information by visiting the Lightning Tools booth at the event. But let's jump into the products and we'll talk about what we do or can do for you at Lightning Tools. So Lightning Tools is a company that is based in the UK. We also have a US presence as well, which is based in Orlando, Florida. And for the past 15 years, we've been building products for Microsoft SharePoint, and that has evolved into Microsoft Teams as well. So we have all sorts of different products, including permissions management and content aggregation. We also have discussion boards for Teams and SharePoint. We have a data integration tool as well as SharePoint list form design. So you can go and look at these tools individually, or you can also acquire them as a suite of products as well. But let's have a look at what those tools can offer you. So first of all, there's Social Squared, and we're going to do a quick demo of Social Squared as well. So Social Squared is the discussion board tool. So let's just have a look at what that looks like. So here inside of SharePoint, I'm going to go into a SharePoint site. And inside that SharePoint site, I have a discussion board, which this particular example is about well-being inside the workplace. And what you'll see is I've got forum groups and I've got forums which separate the discussions so that we can actually keep conversations together in one place. And that makes it easy for people to find, as opposed to having conversations that are inside a feed. People can go and search on a question, or they can navigate to the most appropriate forum in order to be able to find the answer to a question. So what you'll see here is if I go into working hours, for example, there's people that are asking questions in here, and if I wanted to ask my own question, I could go through and add a new topic. I have a nice rich text toolbar where I can create my topic and I can add it, I can tag it, and so on as well. And what you'll notice is there's different views that you can access, including the ability to see what's recent. So we can go through and see the most recent posts, we can see the most popular posts, and we can also search it as well. So if I put home working, for example, in my search here, we can return all the different posts about home working and start to reply to those, and we can mark them as answered and that type of thing. So there's lots to discover about Social Squared. I just want to point out that it is available not just for SharePoint but also for Teams. It's built into the SharePoint framework, which I'm sure you'll find out about at NACS. So in here is the discussion board working inside of a Teams tab. So those conversations that fly by inside the posts tab, you can add into that structure of a discussion board. Okay, so that is the first product that we wanted to take a look at. So let's just jump into our next product. So the next product is DeliverPoint, and this is a permissions reporting and permissions management tool that is not just catering for IT, but it's also catering for the site owners and site collection administrators. It's integrated into SharePoint so that you can very easily, from within inside your site or from within inside your document library, have a look at sharing links, have a look at all the permissions that you've been assigning, manage all of your broken permission inheritance, and so on. So we'll just have a quick look at this. So let's just jump back into SharePoint. So as we go here back onto a site, and I'm just going to land here on the Lightning Tools software site and maybe jump into my sales hub. And you'll notice in the top right corner, if you're a site owner or you have full control to a site, you can come in here and you can perform a Discover Permissions report. And the Discover Permissions report is going to show you everybody that is permissioned on your site. And you'll see that I've got 3 different pages of people that are permissioned. Some of these are external users, like this person here called Brett, happens to be me. That was with my Gmail account. But you'll also notice that I've got other accounts as well, such as an internal account here. And you can tell also the other permissions where users have got edit permissions, how those permissions came about. So this particular user, demo user 8, is inside a Active Directory security group called sales, which is nested inside a SharePoint group, and that's how this edit permission was there. So we can go through and select that, and if we want to make changes to it, we can. We've got the ability to do things like transfer permissions and delete permissions between accounts, even copy permissions or revoke certain permissions too. So if I wanted to copy permissions, let's say, we can copy from demo user 8 across to another user, such as demo user 9, and we can choose what we want to affect, whether it's just this site or also subsites, anything with unique permissions, and we can also modify Microsoft 365 groups and so on. And we have the ability to roll back that permission change if we want to. So that will go through and perform that permissions operation for me. So it's not just that capability. We've also got things like sharing link reports, so we can find out what's been shared inside the site. So we don't have to go one by one through all our different files. We can just see all the sharing links in one place, and we can remove those if need be. Now, if you want to do more bulk permissions management or bulk permissions reporting, you can actually show the tree view here, and we can get into across site collection, cross hub permissions management. So notice that I could select here multiple site collections or drill into a site collection and select multiple sites, and that becomes the scope for my reports. And there's all sorts of reports in here, such as unique permission reports. We've got permission summary. We can even check out the usage of these sites. Are they actually getting used? What objects are there that's unique? That sort of thing. So when I produce those reports, we're getting all of that information back across multiple sites and have the ability to export that out to Excel as well. So there's a lot to Deliver Point, but if that whets your appetite, then go over to the Lightning Tools booth, and we'll be happy to do your private demo. You can also sign up on our website as well for a demonstration with myself. So let's just go into another product. And the next product is the Lightning Forms suite. So Lightning Forms is a SharePoint list form design tool. It works with classic forms, it works with modern forms. And what I'm going to do here is just dive straight in to show you what that product looks like. So we're going to go into my purchasing example. And inside the purchasing example, we've got a purchase order. So we can raise a purchase order. And in here, if I just edit one of these purchase orders, what you'll be able to see is a customized form which has multiple tabs. So things like the ship to address fields, they're all in one place. My totals that are coming up from a sub list, which is a separate list embedded in this form, is being aggregated. We also have the status with the ability to sign off the form, and we can also create command bar buttons as well, like approve if we are an approver. We can generate the document and then send that to the vendor as well. So we actually send a Word document version of this purchase order. And what the design experience looks like is this. So if I deselect that item first of all, and let's jump into Lightning Forms, here it is. So this gives me the new form, the edit form, and the display form, and I'm going to go in and customize the edit form. So you'll see the design experience pop up here, and we can start editing away. So if I wanted to add new tabs, for example, we can just simply add a new tab. We can set the properties on that tab, such as when that tab is going to be visible, who it's going to be visible to. We can also choose icons and so on for it. So that's creating a new tab. We can also add new fields. So the fields coming from the underlying list we can add in here, as well as external data lookup columns or cross-site lookup columns. And we've also got other controls and lists and libraries that we can add to this form as well. You'll find that for each of the different fields, it's really simple to get into creating calculations and so on. So we have this nice calculated value experience where we can access all the different fields on our form. We can also get at contextual objects as well, such as the current user. So if we wanted to get to some of their properties like their email address or anything like that, we can. And we can even get to the sublists too. So if I wanted to bring in the total of the line items, we could just simply go through and double click onto sum here, and we've got that function to calculate from my sublist. So some great capabilities in here, including an action builder. So with the action builder, we can just simply click add, create a new button, and start configuring the actions for that button. So if we wanted to do things like set a form field value and save our form, maybe add a list item or show a message or send an email, these are all the different things that we can add, and we can configure them really simply just through here. So for example, who the email should be sent from, we can go through and select the fact that it is coming from me, the current user. So we can go and grab that current user's email address and populate that in there. Okay, so that's just again a quick taster of Lightning Forms, and that is something that is available for SharePoint Online and also SharePoint on premises as well. So if you're using SharePoint 2019 and you want to get into customizing some forms, come check out Lightning Forms at the booth, or again, book a demo with myself. And let's just jump into one last product that we're going to take a look at here, and that's the Lightning Conductor, and then I'll talk about the prizes that you can win. So the Lightning Conductor is a content aggregation tool. Started off life as the ability to aggregate SharePoint lists and libraries into a view. Now it does much more than that. We can get to Microsoft Graph content, things like Planner, To Do, Teams, OneDrive, etc., and build some reports on that content as well. It's even got an integrated adaptive card designer, so you can go through and render the results as an adaptive card. You don't have to actually have this grid view, and there's other views as well, such as a calendar view. We have some other built-in JSON views like tiles and that type of thing too. So let's take a look. We will jump back into SharePoint, and let's just come away from this for a moment into our Lightning Conductor page. So we'll edit that, and we'll add the Lightning Conductor onto the page here. And the Lightning Conductor has a very quick configuration. It's called quick configuration, but we'll call it very quick configuration. I can go in and do things like task aggregation. So if I'm working with generic lists or generic data types, I don't really need to be specific. I can just simply go through and fill out this form as to where I want that content to come from and choose how I want to render it. So I'm going to show you an example of a grid view, a calendar view, and a card view. So we'll start off with a grid view. So here's some tasks coming in. I can go in and add additional columns. So these are all the other columns associated with my task. So I could choose things like start date. I could do the formatting on that start date. So as I come down here to the settings, I'll choose a short date for that one. And we could also add things like the data bars. So if I add a data bar here with a maximum value of 1, because it's a percentage column, and let's add that in here. You can see we've got some data bars, and we could also check out other sorts of conditional formatting and so on too. So you can see this conditional formatting here, and we can go through and create the little modern pills and choose a modern pill color and so on. Okay, so that is just aggregating tasks. You can build multiple views. So in here, if I call this one tasks, I could then add another type. So I'm going to have planner tasks. So we'll this time not just work with a SharePoint list type, but actually pull in from Microsoft Planner into a JSON view, which is a task view. And you'll notice that this now renders my different plans. So I've got sales plan, I've got marketing plan, etc. And we can go and choose the plan that we want to work with. We can adjust who the assignees are. We can delete those tasks. We can even add new ones or mark them as completed and so on. So that's working with tasks. Let's just go in and create a document aggregation. So this time we'll choose to aggregate documents, and we'll have an avatar view of that. So now we can go through and select all of our documents and see all of those in one place. And again, we can add and remove columns as we choose, or add conditional formatting and so on. And I just want to jump into one more instance to show you the adaptive cards. So let's just do tasks in adaptive cards. Not that we would call it tasks in adaptive cards, but I'm going to. So we can go through and choose tasks again, and this time I'm going to choose the card view. And we'll choose the hub and associated sites for that one. So the view is here by default, so we can go in and view a task. We can also edit a task and so on. But I want to show you what the adaptive card looks like, and I'm going to jump into the advanced mode of the Lightning Conductor, where we can be very specific about the configuration. And under the display here, you'll see that we can create an adaptive card. And there's a link out to the adaptive card designer, and we can follow that. We can go through and set all of our properties for filtering, sorting, and paging, and that type of thing. We can even add our conditional formatting and so on to some of those fields as well, as part of that host configuration. So the Lightning Conductor is very powerful, for working with standard views, but also building out your own adaptive card views or JSON views if you want to. So that's a quick taster of some of the Lightning Tools products. You could even ask Sandy and Julio about Microsoft or My Teams for Microsoft Teams. This is a great app that works as a personal app inside of Microsoft Teams, giving you an aggregated view of your content inside of Teams, and it's a great one that you could add to a Viva Connect dashboard via an adaptive card as well. So check all of those out, and let's just show you what you could win. So here is a Lego McLaren. So great big box of Lego here. So go and check out from the booth, Lightning Tools, and you can find how you will be able to win at our McLaren technical Lego. And if you don't want to win that, there's also lots of swag. So here we have a bottle. We've got some bottle openers, and we've also got some colouring crayons. So go and check out the booth. And sorry I can't be there in person, but I look forward to being there next year. All right, take care. Bye-bye.